Imagination, embodiment, and social change. These are the big themes, in a way, that have animated my life for the best part of 20 years, perhaps even longer. Perhaps it's my life's calling. And just this year, I am starting a new laboratory which explores embodied imagination as a vehicle for not only exploring our deeper calling, how we want to show up in the world and be of service, but also how we can galvanize collective intelligence, how we can galvanize collective decision-making, how we can tap into imagination for the social good, for the greater good, if you will. Because a lot of people are working on, individual paths of active imagination, which is all wonderful and good. We need that kind of work in the world. But what we also need is to become more skillful at working with our collective imagination. So I am launching a laboratory which weaves together the threads of embodiment and imagination for social change, the Embodied Imagination Lab. And I thought to share just a little bit more about the principles behind the work and where it comes from, its sort of origin story. And if this speaks to you, then please join me. So the work goes back to my earlier explorations in theatre. I trained in theatre at the Liverpool Institute for Performing Arts, and it was a course that also explored community arts. So how we can be together in community and how we can draw on creativity as a vehicle for bringing about positive change, for seeding change. And that journey initiated me into deeper explorations of theatre as a vehicle for work on the self. I undertook a master's and then a PhD in this area, and this brought me in contact with some fascinating theatre companies and theatre practitioners around the world who were working at the fringes, really, of the performing arts industry. People who weren't just interested in performing, in creating a show and putting it out there before an audience, but who were really interested in the vehicle of theatre and what it could achieve for the individual and for the ensemble, in terms of our individual and collective evolution, if you will. And one body of work that I came in contact with was the field of paratheatre. Now, paratheatre is a sort of form of theatre which operates without an audience. So there are only actors in the room. And the actors are working amongst themselves, exploring themes, sometimes just working on collective presencing, if you will. Now, presencing is a term that's become associated with the body of work put out by the Presencing Institute through Otto Scharmer and colleagues. But what I'm talking about here, in some ways, is similar, but also different. It's this kind of deep embodied approach to ensemble awareness, becoming fully aware of one another in a creative and embodied process, exploring together through movement, through voice, through collective constellations. So it's a very dynamic process. It's very obviously embodied, very playful. And what you do in that work is you pay attention to what emerges through you. So kind of from within you and also beyond within, what emerges between you in the collective. But the work also goes beyond that, in that it taps a kind of deeper knowing, a deeper wisdom that is sort of channeled through you, that comes from what I would now call the transpersonal domains of our being. So taking us beyond the ego, taking us beyond the sense of individual self, and enabling us to tap into deeper intelligences, deeper wisdom that wants to flow through us. That is the work that I am now drawing from, this body of work, these practices. I'm now drawing from these practices in order to put them in service of the big questions of our time. So how do we engage with the predicaments that we're faced with? What can we each do and what can we collectively do? If all of that intrigues you and you'd like to find out more about the Embodied Imagination Lab, then go and have a little look at the link posted below this video and get in touch. Thank you.